Hello, welcome to a reading vlog. I don't do enough reading vlogs and I currently have a lot of spare time, so I thought I would do one. I want to do reading vlogs for classic books or books that I'm rereading, books that I love or books that I think I'll really love, or books that I've got a lot to say about, and as I'm reading it I could pick up the camera and talk to you about it. So for my first one kind of getting back into the swings of it, and the first one talking about a classic, I am going to reread her very first Lord Peter Wimsey novel. I have read it before. I didn't love it, but I've read quite a few since and I've been loving those, so I'm going to give this another go, and that is Whose Body? This is the front. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Now this is a classic, but I think it's still a modern classic. This was published in 1923. So I don't know, when are we saying a modern classic starts? Are we saying a modern classic starts at the turn of the 20th century, so from 1900 onwards, or are we just saying 100 years? Because if so, this just classifies as a modern classic, doesn't it? Just, but I love the gold foiling. I think it looks so cool. Anyway, I'm going to give this another go, and I really hope I enjoy it more than I did last time. Last time I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, so we shall see. It's also a really beautiful day today, so I think I'm going to sit and read in the garden, and of course I'll take you with me. So yeah, shall we go and do that for a little bit? So I'm just in my garden now, put down this blanket, and just going to start reading Whose Body. This really pretty edition, and I've got a reading buddy here. He's loving it. He loves the sun. So yeah, and I've got a Paddington bookmark, so let's get reading. My edition has this biographical note and it's lovely. It's just a few little pages, but it's wonderful, and it's written by Paul Austen. I can't pronounce that. De la Grande? I'm not sure. But it's as if Lord Peter Wimsey's uncle is writing this, and it's just wonderful. It's so good, and it gives us the background of Lord Peter and everything, and it's just, yeah, it's great. So now I'm actually going to get on to the story now. Okay, so little update. We just come inside because the sun has gone in, so we're just coming inside for a bit, and I think I'm just going to edit a video and stuff. But I am 2 chapters in, so I'm just at the start of chapter 3 on page 27 of my copy. Although this edition, this Value Society edition, is only 169 pages long, so it's not very big at all. I have to say I'm really enjoying it, and I am enjoying it so much more than the first time I read it. First time I read it, it didn't have the same feel at all. Like, it felt a lot darker, and this is just so funny all throughout. I know we're talking about murder, but it is Lord Peter Wimsey's very famous kind of wit and humour is just so present in this book. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep going with that today, and yeah, I'm going to edit a video and then get back to reading. Okay, so it's quite a bit later now. It's now 9:15, and I've come to bed because, well, for one, I'm tired. I'm waking up at like 5:45 in the morning, but I thought what I'll do is I'll read one more chapter in bed, because Pup's tired as well, and I've got myself some Malteser chocolate, and then I've got myself a glass there of elderflower and lemonade. Very nice. And yeah, as I said, I'm going to read one more chapter. So my reading buddy has also come to bed. As you can see, he does take up most of the space for bedtime, but he does roll over eventually. So let me show you where I am. I am currently here on page 55, chapter 5. So I'm going to read one more and then I will put the book to bed and I will see you tomorrow. Why, hello there. It is now the next day and I did do what I said last night, which was I read one more chapter, then went to bed. So now I am on chapter 6, which is in my edition, page 74. So I'm just going to read this for a little bit, but let me just show you the little one because he's just being so cute. Look at this face. Look how just so sweet he is. He's just cuddled up on all the blankets. Such a cutie. So I'm still really loving it. In the story we have got Lord Peter Wimsey and his valet Bunter, and they went to a man called Mr. Phipps's house after his mother, Lord Peter Wimsey's mother, rang because they found a dead man in the bath and he's wearing nothing but a pair of spectacles, the pince-nez, I never know how to pronounce that, and they're trying to find out like who the man is and stuff like that, and there's an inspector on the scene that does not like Lord Peter and there is one that does, so he's working with the one that does. He's going off to like follow leads and stuff, and most recently he went off to follow a lead. He's trying to interview this gentleman in connection with the chain that the glasses were on. And this man's like, get out, get out. And the boy that works for him's like, why did you kick me out? He's like, he's impersonating Lord Peter Wimsey. He's like, he is Lord Peter Wimsey. And yeah, it's really funny and I'm enjoying it so much more this time around than I did the first time. So yeah, I think I'm just going to sit and snuggle up with little one and read a chapter or two. I am completely addicted to this book right now. I just can't put it down. I'm here right now, so I don't have too much to go. But I've just come across this quote that I had to just share with you because I thought it was very funny. Lord Peter Wimsey has gone back home, and it says, his brother was there, dozing over the Times, a good clean Englishman, sturdy and conventional, rather like Henry VIII in his youth. I thought that was brilliant and just wanted to share that with you. It is now a little while later and I've done it. I have finished it. I didn't intend to. As I said, I was just going to read a couple of chapters, but then it was just getting so good and I just had to keep reading. So I have finished it. I'll briefly tell you what it's about because I don't know if I really have throughout this. So this book is called Whose Body, and it is literally working out whose body it is. So at the beginning of the book, Lord Peter gets called up on the telephone by his mother to say that there is a dead body in the bathtub of a Mr. Phipps's house. Could you go over and, you know, say, is there anything we can do? Condolences, stuff like that. So he goes over and he ends up getting involved in the investigation of the case. There's an inspector there called Inspector Sugg, who doesn't really like Lord Peter Wimsey because Lord Peter Wimsey has successfully completed cases before him in the past, and he doesn't like that. There is also a detective on the scene called Parker, who is well, he's not really a detective, he's like an investigator, like a private investigator sort of thing, and he is investigating a missing person, and he has gone to the scene to see if the person in the bath is that person, and the Inspector Sugg's like, oh yeah, it's him, and they're like, no, it's not him. And the case kind of goes on from there. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to ruin it for you, but oh, it was so good. I remember the first time that I read this a few years ago, I was like, it's quite gory, and it is more gory than, say, an Agatha Christie, but it's nothing towards like today's standards of like classic crime. It was just so charming and wonderful. Now that I have reread it, I have such a better appreciation for it than the first time round, because I've read so many other of the Lord Peter Wimsey mysteries. So I highly recommend it, and I think the first time I read it I gave it 2 stars. I'm now going to give it 4. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's as good as, say, Strong Poison, but it is really, really good, and I did prefer it to Have His Carcass, so brilliant. And if you haven't picked it up, I will leave a link for it in the description bar below. I won't be able to pick up my copy because mine's a Folio Society, but I'll do my best to leave a nice copy in the description bar. And that is it for this little vlog. I hope you've enjoyed this reading vlog. I've really enjoyed doing it. It's something a bit different, isn't it, to do a reading vlog, talking about my thoughts on the book as we go. And that is it. Let me know in the comments section if you would like any more reading vlogs, and if so, which books would you like me to do reading vlogs of. If you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up and chat to me in the comments, and I shall see you soon for my next video. Bye for now.